You're exhausted, and not from work or life, but from caring too much about things that don't even care back. Here's the truth. The moment you stop chasing peace through control, it finds you in your stillness. If you've ever lost sleep over what someone might think, replayed a conversation 100 times, or felt crushed by opinions that never really mattered, this is for you. Let me ask you, what if the real reason you're unhappy is because you care where you shouldn't? Today, we're diving into a truth so uncomfortable, most people spend their whole lives avoiding it. There's a subtle chaos you've normalized: overthinking, overgiving, over-explaining. But what if I told you, on the other side of letting go, there's freedom you've never felt before? Stay with me, because if you're going to get anything out of this video, just get this: your peace begins where your need for approval ends, and there's a powerful bonus lesson waiting for you at the end. 1. Why you react to everything. Imagine your mind as a mirror. When it's clean, it reflects reality clearly. But every time you let a comment, a look, or an opinion smudge that mirror, you stop seeing things as they are and start seeing them as they hurt. In Buddhist philosophy, we are reminded, you will not be punished for your anger, you will be punished by your anger. That anger, that emotional chaos, is not the world hurting you. It is your attachment to how you expected the world to behave, and the tighter your grip on that illusion, the deeper the pain runs. So ask yourself, why does every small thing demand a reaction? Why does a passing comment by someone you don't even like echo in your head, louder than your own thoughts? The truth is, you don't react because the world is cruel. You react because something inside you is convinced it should be kinder, quieter, more fair. But that expectation, that illusion, is a trap. Every time someone challenges your beliefs, criticizes your choices, or misunderstands your intentions, your mind goes to war. Not with them, but within you. Because what you're really defending is your ego's need to be right, to be accepted, to be safe. But here's the shift. What if you could pause? What if you could stand between stimulus and response and simply observe? That 1 second, that breath, that moment of non-reaction, is where peace is born. Mindfulness is not passivity, it is power. It's the choice to say, I see the fire, but I don't have to burn. In Buddhist practice, this pause is sacred. The mirror doesn't fight the fingerprint. It simply waits until clarity returns. You must ask yourself, what belief am I defending right now? The need to be liked, the fear of being disrespected, the idea that you must always explain yourself. When you begin to trace the root of your reactions, you'll discover the storm isn't outside, it's within. So try this. The next time something triggers you, don't respond right away. Just sit with the feeling, let the emotion rise, let it move. But don't grab it, don't become it. Because the less you care about being understood by everyone, the more you understand yourself. Detach, not because you don't feel, but because you want to feel better. Stop bleeding for people who wouldn't hand you a bandage. Free your nervous system from carrying the weight of every careless comment. Remember this, not everything deserves your energy. Not every moment requires your presence. The less you react, the more you reflect. And the less you care about proving something to the world, the freer you are to build peace within yourself. At the end of the day, it's not about who said what. It's about whether your mirror stayed clean. You don't need to control the world. You just need to master the moment between trigger and reaction. That's where your freedom lives. 2. The invisible traps that control you. You think you're free, but look closer. Your mind might still be a puppet pulled by strings you don't even see. Strings of fear, approval, control. And they move you, subtly, constantly, until you no longer remember what peace feels like. Buddhism doesn't teach us to escape the world. It teaches us to escape our illusions about it. The Buddha once said, "It is not the chains on your feet that hold you, but the ones around your mind." These mental traps don't shout, they whisper. They disguise themselves as responsibility, perfection, ambition. But underneath, they're driven by the fear of not being enough. You wake up and check your phone, not because you care, but because you fear missing out. You say yes to things you don't want because you fear disappointing someone. You post, perform, pretend, not for joy, but to feel valid. How many of your choices are just reactions to invisible strings? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most suffering doesn't come from what happens. It comes from the meaning you attach to it. You weren't hurt because they ignored you. You were hurt because you expected attention. You weren't overwhelmed because of your workload, but because you felt the pressure to prove your worth through it. That's the trap. And it keeps you looping the same patterns until exhaustion becomes your baseline. But what if you could name these traps? What if you could point to a thought and say, this is my approval trap, or this is my overthinking loop? Just naming them takes away their power, because once you see the string, you can choose to cut it. Minimalism isn't just about owning less. It's about caring less about the things that don't matter. Emotional minimalism is saying, I don't have to engage with this thought. That anxiety about someone's opinion, that urge to respond just to be understood, that endless loop of what-ifs, these are just puppeteer strings. And the moment you stop dancing to them, you begin to live. Ask yourself, what's one mental trap silently draining my peace today? Why am I still holding it? Is it fear of rejection, need for control, desire for certainty? When you stop trying to control everything, clarity flows in. You begin to respond, not react, to observe, not absorb. Remember, you were not born to please people. You were not born to be perfect. You were born to wake up, to untangle yourself from the invisible expectations that steal your joy. You don't have to change the world to be free. You just have to let go of the strings. And here's the paradox. When you care less about controlling everything, you gain control over yourself. That's when happiness stops being conditional. That's when peace is no longer a reward, but a resting place. Cut the strings. Let your mind be still. You are not a puppet. You are the master who forgot. 3. When you stop caring, this happens. You hold on so tightly, gripping approval, expectations, outcomes, as if your happiness depends on controlling every part of life. But have you ever noticed how clenched fists can't receive anything? Not peace, not love, not freedom. Buddhist wisdom tells us letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness. It's a truth that feels like a paradox. How could not caring lead to more peace? But maybe peace isn't something you earn. Maybe it's something you uncover when you stop trying so hard to force everything into place. Think about it. Every time you try to fix someone, rescue every situation, or control how others see you, you exhaust yourself. Not because you're too weak, but because you're trying to carry what isn't yours. You weren't meant to hold the entire world on your shoulders. Some things are meant to pass through your life, not stay stuck in your nervous system. You want inner peace. Stop obsessing over things you can't control. Let go of the idea that everyone has to like you, that your plans must unfold perfectly, that people must understand your heart. Peace isn't found in fixing others. It's found in releasing the need to. Imagine this. Your mind is like a hand clenched into a fist. Now slowly open it. That's what letting go feels like. It's not giving up. It's making room for clarity, for breath, for space. When you stop caring about the noise, you begin to hear your soul again. And what it whispers is this: you were never meant to live in tension. Practice this every day. Start small. Don't check your phone the moment you wake up. Don't respond to that message that only invites drama. Don't explain yourself to someone committed to misunderstanding you. Just let go. Give your peace the priority. The world won't fall apart, but your chaos will begin to. Ask yourself now, what's one thing you're gripping too tightly? Is it an outcome? A person? A story about who you think you should be? And what would happen if just for today, you released it? What if your worth wasn't tied to effort? What if your value didn't depend on hustle, approval, or performance? Buddhism teaches that suffering is not caused by what we lose. It's caused by our attachment to keeping it. So the more you cling, the more you suffer. But the moment you loosen your grip, even just a little, you begin to float. You begin to trust life, and that trust is what brings you back to yourself. The less you care about what drains you, the more energy you have for what lifts you. You weren't made to react to every trigger, attend to every voice, or fix every broken thing. Sometimes healing is not fixing, but freeing. The moment you let go, peace walks in. Stop gripping, start living. Happiness isn't something you chase, it's something you allow. 4. The mindset shift that changes everything. You are not your thoughts, you are the awareness behind them. But most of us live like we are the storm, spinning, crashing, overwhelmed, when in truth we are the sky, always still, always present. Buddhism teaches us this powerful shift. Don't believe everything you think. Thoughts are just visitors. But what happens when you forget that? You become a prisoner in your own mind. You react, you overthink, you spiral into fear, shame, and anxiety, believing every thought is a fact. And just like that, peace slips away. But imagine this: a dark cloud forms. It looks heavy, threatening. And yet, the sky doesn't resist it. It simply allows the cloud to come and go. That's the mindset that changes everything. You don't stop the storm. You stop identifying with it. You stop saying, "I am anxious." And instead, you realize anxiety is visiting. You stop thinking, "I am not enough." And instead, you observe, that's a thought. It's not the truth. This shift is the foundation of mindfulness. Meditation isn't about fighting thoughts. It's about seeing them clearly and letting them pass without letting them build a home in you. Every time your mind spins stories, "They don't respect me. I'll never succeed. What if I fail?" You have one job. Don't pick them up. Just notice, name, and release. Say to yourself, this is just the mind doing its thing. Overthinking loses its power when you stop feeding it your attention. Most of what you fear never happens. Most of what you rehearse in your head is just noise. So why are you still carrying every thought like it's a burden you must solve? What if your thoughts had no power unless you chose to believe them? Would you still carry them? Here's the truth. Thoughts will come. Emotions will rise. But they don't define you. You are the observer, the silent witness. The more you return to that role, the less chaos you absorb. That's where peace begins. Not when life is silent, but when you are. Next time you feel overwhelmed, pause and breathe. Watch your thoughts like clouds drifting across the sky. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to judge them. Just let them pass. With practice, you'll realize the sky never fights the storm. It simply allows it to pass through. You want clarity? Create space. You want peace? Stop trying to fix every thought and just let it float. That's the power of detachment. Not caring less in a cold way, but caring wisely. Caring only about what truly matters. And slowly, this shift becomes your strength. You stop drowning in the waves because you remember. You were never the ocean. You were always the sky. You don't have to silence the storm. You only have to remember. You are not the storm. You are the sky that watches it pass. 5. Do less, but better. You are not tired because you've done too much. You are tired because too much of what you're doing doesn't matter. Your energy is being scattered across endless to-do lists, conversations that drain you, tasks that don't feed your soul. Buddhism doesn't glorify the grind. It reveres presence. Better than 1,000 hollow words, the Buddha said, is one word that brings peace. The same is true of our lives. A single focused action, done with intention, is more powerful than 1,000 scattered efforts. Think of your mind like a bow. Every thought, every task, every responsibility pulls the string tighter. But if you're firing arrows in every direction, none will hit the target. Clarity comes not from doing more, but from doing less, better. When you stop multitasking your life, you begin to live it. Because distraction isn't just the enemy of productivity, it's the thief of meaning. You can't pour your full presence into a moment while worrying about 5 others. And if your attention is divided, your peace will be too. So here's your call to clarity. What are your essential 3? What are the 3 things that actually matter today, emotionally, spiritually, practically? Not 10, not 20, just 3. Drop the rest. Because not everything deserves your energy. Not every task deserves your attention. Some things are just noise pretending to be important. And every time you say yes to them, you say no to your peace. You may think success is about how much you can do, but true mastery is doing less with more awareness. It's not about conquering the day, it's about showing up fully to what matters in it. Imagine waking up tomorrow with this one shift. Only focus on what feeds your peace, your growth, or your soul. Everything else, let it go. That email that can wait, let it. That meeting you don't need to attend, skip it. That person whose drama drains your spirit, step away. The power of doing less isn't laziness, it's discipline. The discipline to choose what deserves your life force. And when you do that, something miraculous happens. The fog begins to clear. Your mind slows down. Your purpose sharpens. You stop moving in circles and begin walking a path. Ask yourself now, what task today can I eliminate or simplify to reclaim my energy? What if success wasn't about being busy, but about being aligned? What if the real progress wasn't in finishing more, but in feeling whole while doing less? You weren't made to chase everything. You were made to live with clarity, like a single arrow aimed with presence, precise, powerful, and peaceful. Do less, but better. Because a focused life isn't a smaller life. It's a deeper one. 6. Let go of the inner drama. There's a storm in your mind, and most days you think the only way out is to fight it. You analyze, replay, rehearse, try to fix everything and everyone. But what if the real solution isn't in doing more, but stepping back? Peace comes from within, the Buddha taught. Do not seek it without. Yet here we are, wrestling the wave instead of watching it crash. The drama we experience isn't always from life itself. It's from the story we wrap around it. Most of our pain doesn't come from what is, but from what we think about what is. Imagine this. Someone sends a short reply. You instantly think, they must be mad at me. Your heart races, your mood shifts. But was there actually a problem? Or did you just create a movie in your mind and cast yourself as the villain, the victim, or the fixer? Our thoughts are skilled storytellers, and without awareness, we buy into every plot twist they sell us. But there's another way, one that Buddhism offers with radical clarity. Become the silent witness. Let the thoughts come and go, like waves on the shore, but don't chase them. Don't fight them, just watch. You don't have to respond to every thought. You don't have to solve every feeling. Practice this instead, stillness. In the middle of inner chaos, try asking, is this real? Or is this just a story I'm feeding? That question alone creates space. space between you and the drama. And in that space, peace begins. You stop fueling the fire with attention, you stop adding heat to the storm. And when you stop speeding your thoughts, they lose their power. The next time something upsets you, don't react, don't spiral, just pause. Watch what your mind tries to do. You'll notice it rushes to blame, to predict, to panic. Let it, and just watch. You are not the storm. You are the space in which the storm happens. The more you practice this inner distance, the more you realize the drama was never about the world. It was about your attachment to how the world should be. Peace isn't a reward for fixing life. It's the result of no longer needing life to be perfect. It's what happens when you stop grabbing every thought and start observing. When you stop turning discomfort into identity. When you stop rehearsing imaginary arguments in your head that never happen in real life. What if you made it your practice today to let go of one mental movie, just one? The one playing loudest, the one creating the most noise. Let it run, but don't participate, don't narrate it, just let it fade. Because sometimes the strongest thing you can do is not react. The storm inside you will pass, but only if you stop standing in the rain. 7. Stay open. Pain knocks, and the instinct is to close, to fold in on yourself, to brace and protect. But here's the paradox. Healing doesn't happen when you close, it happens when you stay open. The heart, like a flower, doesn't bloom by avoiding the rain, it blossoms through it. In Buddhism, the truth is simple, but hard to live. You only lose what you cling to, and clinging often looks like shutting down, holding back, or pretending you're unaffected. But pain is not the enemy. Resistance is. Think about the last time you were hurt, emotionally, spiritually. Did you contract? Did you shut the world out to survive it? That's natural, but it's also where most suffering begins, in the closing. What if the true strength isn't found in putting on armor, but in staying emotionally naked, even when it stings? This doesn't mean becoming passive or letting people walk all over you. It means softening where life has hardened you, remaining open in the exact place where you were taught to flinch. When you feel that tightening in your chest, pause. Don't run, don't numb it, just notice. Where am I closing right now? Is it fear, anger, avoidance? What am I protecting? Then breathe. Breathe into that space, let it unfold. It's not weakness to feel, it's wisdom. It's not foolish to trust again, it's freeing. Staying open is not about allowing pain in. It's about not letting it trap you. We think shutting down keeps us safe, but it doesn't. It only cages us in stories, in assumptions, in repetitive patterns. True safety is found in presence, and presence requires openness. When you keep your heart open, you're not inviting more pain. You're allowing space for it to pass through without getting stuck. You stop internalizing every wound. You stop turning discomfort into identity. You start flowing instead of freezing. This practice is subtle, but life-changing. When you feel offended, soften. When someone doesn't meet your expectations, stay open. When life disappoints, breathe. That's where your power is, not in controlling what happens, but in choosing not to shut down because of it. That's real emotional resilience. Let yourself feel what you feel, without becoming it, without collapsing under it. Because every time you stay open, even a little, you train your nervous system to handle life without fear. You tell your inner world, I am safe enough to stay soft. That's not weakness, that's invincibility. Not against the world, but against your own resistance. So ask yourself now, where am I closed? What part of me am I guarding too tightly? And what would happen if, just for a moment, I let it open? The heart that stays open cannot be broken, it only expands. 8. Cut the rope of expectations. You wake up expecting kindness, a message, a gesture, a recognition, but it doesn't come. And just like that, the mood shifts. Not because life is cruel, but because you are holding a silent rope, an expectation. Expectations are like invisible threads we wrap around people, events, and even ourselves. We think they connect us, but more often they strangle our peace. Buddhism teaches attachment is the origin, the root of suffering, and expectations are nothing more than refined attachments to how the world should behave to keep you happy. You see, the pain isn't in the thing itself, it's in the story. The one where your friend should have remembered, the one where your partner should have reacted differently, the one where life was supposed to reward you by now. But life isn't scripted, it flows. And the more we try to control the script, the more we suffer every scene that doesn't go our way. Think about it. Who are you silently expecting something from right now? A word, a change, an apology. What emotion is living in you because they haven't given it? We tie our peace to outcomes, but peace doesn't live there. It's not found in someone meeting your expectations. It's in your ability to release them. Imagine this. You're standing on a cliff with a rope in your hand. On the other end is a heavy stone labeled how life should be. That rope is cutting into your hand, bleeding your energy. And you think, if I just hold on tighter, maybe it'll feel lighter. But the freedom you seek isn't in gripping harder, it's in letting go. What if you dropped the rope just for today? What if you allowed people to be who they are, not who you wish they'd be? What if you stopped expecting your job to validate you, your partner to complete you, or your past to rewrite itself? Releasing expectation doesn't mean giving up. It means giving into what is, instead of clinging to what should be. That's not passive. That's power. That's liberation. Start small. When you notice yourself tense, irritated, disappointed, pause. Ask, what rope am I holding right now? Can I cut it? Breathe. Let it go. Not because they deserve it, but because you do. Every moment you free yourself from the illusion of control, you take one step closer to serenity. Here's the truth most people never admit. Peace doesn't come when everything's perfect. It comes when you stop needing it to be. Say it with me. This moment is enough. I am enough. They are enough as they are. The rope you cut today may be the one that's been choking your peace for years. 9. Practice non-attachment, not indifference. You can love deeply and still let go. You can care without clinging. Non-attachment is often misunderstood as apathy, but it's not about being cold, it's about being clear. It's the difference between holding someone's hand and squeezing so tight that neither of you can breathe. Imagine holding water in your palm. If you cup it gently, it stays, but if you grasp, it slips through your fingers. That's the art of non-attachment. Buddhism teaches to understand everything is to forgive everything. And in that forgiveness, we release our grip. Not because we don't value it, but because we finally understand it was never ours to hold. Think about this. What if the pain in your chest isn't from love, but from attachment disguised as love? We confuse presence with possession, care with control. But true connection isn't about permanence, it's about presence. Can you be here now with someone or something you care about and not demand that it stays forever? This is where non-attachment begins, not in retreating from life, but in embracing it without needing it to last. There's a quiet power in being able to say, I appreciate this moment, even if it doesn't repeat. That's emotional freedom. But many of us fear that letting go means losing everything. We think, if I don't hold on, it'll disappear. But clinging doesn't preserve, it suffocates. Non-attachment says, I can be here fully. And if it ends, I can still be whole. That's not weakness, that's strength, the kind that doesn't collapse when life changes. Try this. Look at your relationships, your goals, your identity. What are you attached to that's weighing down your soul? A title, a person, a version of yourself that no longer exists. Can you love it, honor it, and still let it float freely away when the time comes? That's spiritual maturity. It's not detachment from life. It's connection without chains. Non-attachment is not indifference. It's deep care minus emotional enslavement. It means showing up with love, but not losing yourself in the process. It means listening without trying to fix, loving without needing to own, being with someone without fearing their absence. It means recognizing that everything is temporary, and instead of that terrifying you, it liberates you. Every moment you release the need for permanence, you allow yourself to actually experience life, unfiltered, uncontrolled, real. When you stop holding on so tightly, your heart has space to breathe, and in that space, happiness grows. Not because you have everything, but because you've stopped needing to. So ask yourself today, what are you clinging to in fear rather than holding in love? What if letting go was the most loving thing you could do? Non-attachment isn't letting go of love. It's letting go of the fear that you'll lose it. Hence, stop performing for the world. You've been handed a script, a role to play, and every day you perform it, hoping for applause. But what if, just for a moment, you stopped pretending? What if you didn't need to act anymore to meet others' expectations? The truth is, social roles are illusions, and the more we perform for the world, the more we lose sight of who we truly are. You are not the actor. You are the one who writes the script, and today you have the power to rewrite it. Imagine walking through your day without the weight of trying to be who others want you to be. No more shoulds. I should be more successful. I should be a better friend. I should be perfect. The constant pressure to meet external expectations leaves you exhausted and fragmented. The world's applause is fleeting, but when you live for your own truth, you create something far more lasting. A life that is whole, free, and genuinely yours. Think about your daily interactions. How many of them are driven by a desire to impress? Who are you trying to win approval from today? Maybe it's a family member, a boss, or even strangers on social media. What if you could let go of the need to perform for them? What if, instead of shaping yourself to meet their image of who you should be, you allowed yourself to simply be? What would happen if you stopped wearing the mask and let the world see your true self? Buddhism teaches us that the less we perform for external validation, the more aligned we become with our true nature. When you stop pretending to be someone you're not, you no longer have to hide behind the facade of perfection. You can show up fully, exactly as you are, without fear of judgment. This is where freedom begins. When you stop performing for the world, you make room for the most important performance of all, the one where you're simply being yourself. This is not about abandoning responsibility or letting go of personal growth. It's about letting go of the need to measure your worth by someone else's standards. The less you care about what others think, the more you reclaim your energy and your peace. You begin to live with intention rather than reaction, choosing what serves your soul, not what serves the world's expectations. Ask yourself, who are you trying to impress today? What if you didn't need to? What if, instead of focusing on how you're perceived, you focused on how you perceive yourself? The answer will set you free. When you live for truth, not applause, you will no longer be a puppet to external expectations. Instead, you will be the author of your own life, choosing each moment, each action, each word with purpose and authenticity. The less you perform for the world, the more you will become the person you were always meant to be. 11th, reclaim your attention. In a world filled with distractions, where your attention is constantly pulled in 1,000 directions, reclaiming your focus is one of the most powerful things you can do. Think of your attention as light. Whatever you shine it on, it grows. If you focus on negativity, worry, or other people's expectations, that's what you cultivate in your life. But if you turn your attention inward towards peace and self-awareness, that's what will expand. The mind is everything, what you think you become. So what are you feeding your mind today? Is it peace or is it poison? The world has become louder, more demanding, and harder to tune out. Notifications ping, opinions clash, and it feels like the noise never stops. But amidst the chaos, there's a quiet place inside you. A place where clarity and calm reside. The trick is learning how to return to that space, moment by moment, without letting external distractions pull you away. Focus is your greatest power, and when you master it, you unlock the ability to shape your own reality. You can choose what you give your attention to, and that choice determines the life you live. One of the first steps to reclaiming your attention is a mental detox. Unfollow, unsubscribe, and unhook from the things that drain your energy. It's not just about clearing out your social media feed. It's about clearing your mind of everything that doesn't serve your peace. The constant barrage of information, opinions, and expectations can overwhelm you, making it hard to hear your own thoughts. By removing what doesn't align with your values, you give yourself the space to hear your inner voice clearly. When you stop filling your mind with external noise, you make room for the thoughts and ideas that truly matter to you. But reclaiming your attention isn't a one-time fix, it's a practice. Just like a muscle that gets stronger with repetition, your awareness can grow stronger the more you train it. Every moment is a chance to return to now, to redirect your focus from distractions back to your present experience. It's not about striving for perfection. It's about noticing when your mind has wandered and gently guiding it back. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes, and over time, you'll find that your thoughts no longer control you. You control them. Ask yourself, what are you feeding your mind today? Is it something that nurtures your peace, your growth, your happiness? Or is it something that drains you, that feeds fear, anger, or anxiety? In a world that's constantly trying to pull you in 100 different directions, the ability to direct your attention towards what truly matters is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. When you reclaim your attention, you reclaim your power. You become the master of your own mind, and in doing so, you unlock the freedom to live your life with purpose, peace, and presence. The less you let the world control your focus, the more you get to decide what your life becomes. Bonus lesson: turn resistance into acceptance. Life is full of waves, constantly shifting, unpredictable, and sometimes overwhelming. We often find ourselves trying to fight against the current, struggling to control things that are beyond our grasp. But what if I told you that this resistance only drags you deeper into frustration and stress? What if, instead of fighting the current, you simply let it carry you? In Buddhism, this is called acceptance. When you stop resisting the flow of life, you stop drowning in your own struggles. Instead, you float, and the river gently carries you home. Whatever has the nature to arise, has the nature to cease. The challenges you're facing today, they will pass, but only if you stop fighting them. We live in a world that constantly tells us to control, to fix, and to overcome. But what if life isn't a problem to be solved? What if it's a wave to be surfed? Every time you push against life's natural flow, you create friction, and that friction breeds suffering. When you accept things as they are, not as you think they should be, you tap into a deeper peace. This doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive. It means starting from a place of inner calm, not panic. It's the difference between fighting against a storm and simply allowing it to pass. When you accept the present moment, as messy or chaotic as it may be, you stop carrying unnecessary weight. Think about the things you're fighting in your life right now. Maybe it's a relationship that isn't going as you'd hoped, a career path that feels uncertain, or a personal goal that seems impossible. Every no you throw at the present moment, every this shouldn't be happening, is just a weight you add to your shoulders. But what if, just for a moment, you let go of the resistance? What would happen if you allowed yourself to accept what is without judgment, without trying to change it? This shift in perspective is profound. Acceptance doesn't mean you have to stop working towards your goals or improving your life. It simply means that you stop fighting against what's happening right now. When you let go of the inner no, you create space for something new. You let yourself move through life more smoothly, instead of fighting against the current. The key is to find calmness in the present moment, no matter how difficult it feels. When you do this, you release yourself from extra stress and allow yourself to go with the flow of life. So, take a moment today to notice what you're pushing against. Where are you holding on too tightly to a situation, an emotion, or something you wish was different? Now, ask yourself, how would it feel to accept it, just for a little while? What if by accepting it, you could feel a bit more peaceful? The more you practice shifting resistance into acceptance, the more you'll feel the freedom that comes from living in harmony with life's natural rhythm. Quick summary of the ideas. Why you react to everything. Your reactions don't really come from others, but from the inner attachments you haven't dealt with. The more aware you are of your emotional triggers, the less power they have over you. Watch your reactions instead of becoming them, and freedom will come. The unseen traps that control you. Most people are ruled by hidden thought patterns, like needing approval or fearing what others think. Seeing these patterns is the first step to breaking free from them. When you name your trap, you break its hold. What happens when you stop caring? Letting go of what you can't control brings a deep sense of peace within. You don't have to fix everything around you. The act of letting go is stronger than holding on. A mindset shift that changes everything. You are not your thoughts, you're the awareness behind them. Stepping back from the constant mental noise can completely shift how you experience life. This one change can free your mind from confusion. Do less, but do it well. Simplicity brings power. Stop spreading your energy on things that don't really matter. Focus on fewer things, but with more clarity, presence, and depth, and your life will feel more meaningful. Let go of the drama inside. A lot of your suffering comes from overthinking and making up stories in your mind. When you stop feeding the inner drama, peace comes naturally. Watch your mind, but don't become its storms. Stay open. Even when you're in pain, staying emotionally open keeps you strong. Closing yourself off builds walls and leaves wounds. Openness leads to healing, growth, and true courage. Let go of the rope of expectations. Expectations are the root of suffering. Life feels lighter when you stop insisting it must go your way. Accept what is, instead of what could be or should be. Practice non-attachment, not coldness. Non-attachment helps you love fully without losing yourself. You care, but you don't hold on tightly. This balance brings peace and emotional strength. Stop acting for the world. You are not just an image or a role. Living to please others takes away your true self. Be who you really are, not what the world expects you to be. Take back your attention. Your attention is your most sacred power. Protect it from noise, distractions, and negativity. Where your attention goes, your life follows. Turn resistance into acceptance. Fighting against life creates pain. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means responding with clarity, not confusion. Real strength begins with surrender. Many of us are unknowingly stuck in mental cages, reacting, overthinking, trying to please others, and wearing ourselves out chasing things that don't truly nourish our soul. But there's a softer path, one that doesn't shout but gently whispers peace. That path begins the moment you stop trying to control everything and start mastering the one thing you can: yourself. When you stop caring about things that don't really matter, you begin to live. Not just survive, truly live. You begin to show up differently, listen more deeply, breathe more freely. And surprisingly, the world starts to loosen its grip on you. The anxiety fades. The urge to prove yourself fades. You no longer move to someone else's rhythm. You begin to hear your own. Zen philosophy teaches us, when you let go of who you are, you become who you're meant to be. Taking control of your life doesn't mean forcing it, but flowing with it. You don't need to fix the whole world. You need to adjust the lens you're seeing it through. That's how real change starts, not with pressure, but with awareness. Take a breath, look inside, then reclaim your power, not by holding on tighter, but by letting go of the need. You don't have to carry everything, only what truly matters. Leave the rest. That's the quiet power of mastering yourself. Deep inside, you already have the answer. You know who you are and what you truly want. The noise will fade, but the truth will stay. If this video touched you, don't forget to like it and share it with someone who might need it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Which message spoke to you the most today?